Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video about Ramantu Drakesblood, because I think he could get a decent value surge after Plarium announcing the changes that are coming to the Polymorph debuff, because the Polymorph debuff really demolished Ramantu. He does so many things that proc Polymorph, and it hurt his value a little bit. But I want to show you a couple different options of playing Ramantu and building him to get some decent value out of him. I think there are going to be a lot of teams that you can slot in and do well, and I will also provide you with an infographic showcasing all of the general information about Ramantu Drakesblood. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so Ramantu, as you can see down on the bottom right, is going to be the reward that you get on your account for completely finishing all of the progress missions. You get Arbiter first, and then that next tier of progress mission rewards is going to be Ramantu Drakesblood, and you can claim him down there when you completely finish all of your progress missions. And since Ramantu is a special progress mission champion that you cannot summon out of shards, you're going to need to use copies of Shogger to empower him, which Shogger is a pretty decent champion in his own right. So it's going to be a consideration based on you and your account, but that is how you're going to have to empower him if you would like, is using copies of Shogger. Then for the quick refresher course here on Ramantu, everything's pretty solid. He's got really good base attack. He's got a decent multipliers. They're better than people give him credit for. And he also has a base of 50 between resistance and accuracy. The speed of 105 is great. It's a little bit unfortunate that he doesn't get the buffed up version of crit damage. I think he should. He's kind of a utility damage dealer. So it would be nice to see him get that 63% crit damage that you see the game put on a lot of your damage dealers, but he doesn't get it, and his HP is a little bit low. I'd like to see that maybe be at like 17,000 or something. It's just a little bit harsh to how squishy he is, but he is a very solid utility champion with the base stats to back it up where they need it, like the high base attack, and then also the 20 base accuracy helps you stack that, and a really solid base speed. And then for his kit, he's got a lot of interesting mechanics going on. So for the A1, you can attack one enemy and book this up to a 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of that target's skills at random by 1 turn, and then also a 25% chance of placing a stun on the target for 1 turn if it has its skill increase to the max. And then if the cooldown increase is successful, you can snowball even more by also decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn of the ally with the highest turn meter and a skill on cooldown. So it's really targeted to where it can be impactful. Now, I end up using this on my account with somebody who has ally attack, and then Ramantu can go in with them and constantly proc the effects on this A1, because that's a really good A1 just for getting default cooldown manipulation, and on both sides of the battlefield, increasing theirs, decreasing yours. So if you have like for me, I'm lucky enough to have a Marichka. Marichka has a default ability that also brings an ally. As you can see right here, with her default, attack one enemy, and then one random ally will team up and join the attack with their default skill. Well, that is god tier with Ramantu, because you join in with Marichka, and then Ramantu, if you get lucky in the RNGs on your side, he'll come in with his A1, and you want to pair people with a good A1 to go along with your Marichka to constantly get value out of those default abilities. And then on this A2, this is also a pretty solid ability. It does a lot more damage than people think, because it's going to hit 4 times with a decent multiplier, and it's going to place a bunch of debuffs. You're going to get decreased defense, weaken, decreased speed, block buffs, and if whatever he's attacking, so you can target this. If something has 2 or 3 debuffs and you target them with this ability, you're also going to book up to a 100% chance of placing a true fear on all enemies for 1 turn if that target has 4 or more debuffs after the attack. So it's going to do damage, it's going to place a lot of debuffs, and it can CC the whole team by proccing true fear on all of them. So that can really be impactful, especially if you're going to target it on a certain enemy that will proc everything. And then the A3 is going to be an AoE that, again, hits harder than people give it credit for if you build him to do damage, and you can book it up to a 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies before attacking. And then you're also going to either block active skills or passive skills based on if your enemy has a passive or not. So if they don't have a passive, you're going to block active skills for 2 turns, and if they do have a passive, you're going to block their passive skills for 2 turns. This can be really good against those champions that have really strong passives that are super annoying. You've got those Duchess that are constantly reducing the AoE damage. You've got Marichka with her crazy passive, obviously that's super famous. You've got Tormund with an annoying passive that's going to freeze everybody. And what Ramantu can do is lock that down pretty consistently on a 3-turn cooldown because it does it for 2 turns. And then Ramantu does have a passive here that will help him a little bit with his squishiness, because it says whenever an enemy places a CC effect on him, it will instantly fill his turn meter by 30% and then also give him increased speed and a shield for 2 turns, and that shield will be 30% of his base HP. So you can either build Ramantu as a utility support because he gets a lot of value here on every single ability in his kit. You can manipulate your opponents, so he is a great utility champion if you just want to bring him as like the role of your buff stripper and CC. Or you can build him in the DPS slot and build him a little bit more damage heavy while also getting the bonus utility out of his other abilities, because he does do damage every turn and his multipliers and damage output are better than people give him credit for. Which, as you can see with the Ramantu that I've got built here on my account, I'm going with kind of that hybrid style. He's not going to be some insane nuker, and he's not going to be some 700 plus accuracy super HP stacked utility champion. He's going to be kind of a hybrid that I can use to farm the arena, and I can also sneak him in to like a live arena match and do some damage out of nowhere where they ban my damage dealer and they think that now I don't have any damage. But Ramantu is built as a hybrid and he can sneak up on people and do a lot more damage than they were thinking, because his burst ability, the attack one enemy 4 times, can be plenty of damage to go ahead and confirm a kill in a battle. So I actually use him a lot to just be lazy and farm the classic arena on my general utility team. And then I also will sneak him in every now and then in a live arena fight, depending on kind of the situation. So the way that you're going to gear him is obviously going to depend on the way that you want to build him. If you're going to be going for the hybrid utility route, or if you're just going to go for the full support champion, getting value out of all the different things that his kit can do to manipulate your opponents. And down below, remember, I will link to the infographic that will show you kind of an overarching layout of the build that I decide to use on my account for the reasons that I kind of explained just now, where I like to sneak him in and use him as a utility damage dealer. So let's go ahead and let's load up a live arena match, and I'll show you where I feature Ramantu as my utility damage dealer. Okay, so they're popping in with an Arbiter. They're going to go a little bit of a nuke style. Remember Marichka with the great utility that she's going to bring with popping in Ramantu to join in on the attacks. Now, I don't want them to ban Ramantu, so I'm going to go Marichka Duchess, and they're going to ban one of those two. And then I'm going to sneak in, after they kind of commit here, I'm going to sneak in a Tormund to make them scared of the Arbiter because they're going the boost style. And that'll make them worry about like having to ban. They're going to ban one of those 3, Duchess, Marichka, or Tormund. So we sneak in a Tormund, and then they're definitely not going to ban my Ramantu if I sneak him in at the end. So I can use him as my only damage dealer. They've got Ragash. So I'm just going to kind of go for like... The thing, I don't really need a Mighty Uko because I've got I want a speed up though. So I'll probably go with like a Lydia. Why not? Let's do that. And then let's see what they round out here with their last 2. I'll probably ban like Pythion because I don't want the cleanse. If I'm going to go debuff heavy, I don't want them constantly cleansing everything. I wonder if they're going to bust out like a Mithrala or another cleanser. If they don't, I'll probably just ban the cleanser. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's slot in Ramantu, and boom, there's my team. Okay, so now we can ban. I'm gonna ban their cleanser for sure, and then they'll ban my Duchess, my Marichka, or my Tormund. And yep, okay, they banned the Duchess. Let's take the speed, and we're off. And now I'll kind of show you that. So they don't think I have a damage dealer right now. They're like, okay, we're good to go. They're just all tanky, and they can't do any damage because they didn't bring like a Rhodos or a Candrafon or anything like that. But let's go ahead, and they're gonna... Oh, they did do it. Again, we got some freezes from the Tormund. Now, Lydia, we can just do that. Get the speed up. Break their defense. Okay, there we go. Pop that. Now, look at... I've got the... Oh, there. Look at that. Ramantu joined in with the Marichka, and you saw all those effects pop off, and he got a kill. So right now, we can either confirm a kill here with the A2, or... we can AoE block everything. I like to do that. Let's go. Bang. And see right there, you can kind of sneak in with Ramantu and have him hit sneaky hard when they don't expect you to have a damage dealer even on your roster, and on top of all the utility he brings. And this was my first take and I got super lucky, and you got to see how he joined in with the ally attack ability and got all of that value out of the default A1. So, okay, let's load up another match and let's see how this goes and what kind of style they play. So they got to go first. I'll have to pick 2 champions. I'll probably just go again with like Duchess Marichka. And then we'll sneak in some utility or a Torment or a Ramantu, depending on the way they're going here. Okay, they're going with a Yumeko. Let's go bang, bang. And then I can either go with like a Mighty Uko or somebody else that does a speed up, or I could do a lockout myself. We'll see here. So are they going to go speed or defense? Okay, they're going to go for a slower build. I'll probably ban Yumeko. I can remove buffs and block buffs enough to deal with the Helicath. So let's go with, I think I can bring in the, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's bring in the Mighty Uko, and then I'm going to scare them. They've got Force, Spirit. I'm going to bring in a Mortu Macabre just to scare them. And then I'll also bring in the, I'll come in last with the Ramantu, and we'll see if we can get some value. They'll probably ban Duchess. They're not going to want the block debuffs if they're using a knee shock. Are they going to bring a buff strip? Probably. If they bring a buff strip, they might ban Marichka instead. And so far, I'm probably going to ban the Yumeko so I don't get locked out. And they've got some big boy blessings on Helicath right there, the 5-star. And they were really thinking about it there. So they went with the Torment. They're going to ban my Duchess for sure. Although they do have a buff strip on Mighty Uko. I'm going to use Ramantu because that's the whole point of doing this here. So let's go with Ramantu. I'm assuming they'll ban my Duchess, but they do have the I'm going to ban their lockout. That's going to be super annoying to get constantly locked out. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't really fear the Torment, and I think, you know, if they don't ban my Mighty Uko, I feel like I can hold serve with them here. So let's see what they do here. Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision on who they want to ban going forward, because if they let the Mortu Macabre sit there and snowball, that could get scary too. Yeah, so they ban the Mortu Macabre. See, so this is perfect. They don't think I have any damage. They're thinking like their Mortu Macabre is the one thing I have to fear killing me, and they're going to see that Ramantu comes out of nowhere, disables the Torment passive, and disables all the stuff they have going on, removing buffs and constantly stripping, and he'll do enough damage to sneak in there and confirm kills. So here we go. Now, they don't have a cleanse, so I definitely want to block buffs on them. There we go. So Helicath built in high resistance. We got the Polymorph. There we go, of course. Okay. Okay, bang and bang. That'll be fine. And I can disable. So where are we going here? They're thinking what to do with Uko. The bombs on Ramantu is going to be rough. Let's go ahead. Let's do that. And then I want to remove the block damage for sure. So let's do the AoE removal here. That's all right. The provokes are fine because I've got the value here sneaking in to come in with Ramantu and still get effects out of that. So it's okay if Ramantu gets provoked. We've got Revive from Duchess and also Mighty Uko. Okay, there. The Duchess joined in with the Marichka. I need Duchess to get that block debuffs up. Okay, so I'll have to revive with the Duchess right there. Yep, see? There we go. We got Ramantu confirming a kill. Get the revive from the Duchess. And there you saw the increased cooldown coming down from Ramantu. And he should be just in time to cycle through to remove that annoying block debuffs. So let's go ahead, do that. Now we got that up, and yep, he did cycle through. So we're going to attack everybody and remove all that stuff right here. And bang, there we go. Blocked getting the block there off on Helicath. The revive. Now what I can do is wait for the A2 to kind of target the Mighty Uko so they can stop reviving. because Ramantu will hit super hard with this A2 right here, and you'll kind of see the effect. You want to do it on somebody that has a bunch of debuffs if you can, but let's see. They got block. Let's see what we can do here on Mighty Uko. Yeah, we just couldn't quite chew through it. They got the defense up and everything. We weren't able to debuff them. So what I can do right now is put it on auto, and I just need to get the Mighty Uko down. The increased cooldown is nice right there. There we go. That's big. That turned the tide. So we're going to go on auto, and we're just going to target down the Mighty Uko over there on the left. And by the time I cycle through Ramantu doing the A2 again, I think I'll be okay. I'm getting that speed up before... Oh, great. Increased cooldown right there from the Ramantu. The block debuffs, keeping that up is huge. And I was able to do that because I increased the cooldown there on the Mighty Uko. Bang, we got the stun. That was huge. That's so impactful to join in from that Marichka. There we go. Knee shock's their only source of damage. Now I need to get the... And there it is. Yep, we'll get the confirmed kill. There it is. And GG, that is game over. So now they have no revive, and we were able to confirm enough damage there with the Ramantu that causes them to leave. And that is kind of the different ways that I use Ramantu to sneak in there and do utility damage in the arena. And I do also want to talk about Ramantu's overall grades here on the tier list that we have, and I will link to this also down below if you want to pull up either the infographic or the grades. So let's talk about his overall grades here as a champion. You've got Arena, 87, Faction Wars, he's really good there for the Wizard as well. Doom Tower, he can be really good for some of the waves and locking stuff down and help you with progression there. Just I use him in my slow, lazy progression team on some of those tougher stages where you've got like the annoying Siffy, Rotos, Mortem Macabre type stages. I do like to use Ramantu there as well. Where else is he going to shine? Scarcity. He's got a lot of cool stuff in his kit, so he has a high scarcity score. He's not going to be the best progression champion because you do get him pretty late in the game, but he is decently endgame viable because there's a few different ways that you can use him. And then on this page, you'll also see a breakdown of the kit and all of the different multipliers and stuff for his abilities. So that'll do it for this look at Ramantu Drakesblood. Let me know what you think about him down below, and if you think he's going to get a little bit of a power surge after the adjustments to Polymorph, which was a very devastating thing in the game that really hurt his value. Let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate all of you. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.